Good morning and welcome to the Compass Ecosystem Podcast. My name is Carolyn Gorst. I am the Director of Development at Compass Affordable Housing, and this is the Compass Ecosystem Podcast. Before we get started today, I want to welcome my wonderful co-host. Thank her for joining me again, keeping me on track, Lydia Aranda. Hi, Lydia.
Hi there. So glad to be here again for another wonderful and informative episode.
It's it's a great conversation today, Lydia. And I just want to remind everyone watching today that the purpose of the Compass Ecosystem podcast is to inform, engage, and to connect our Southern Arizona community in a dialogue about our human development ecosystem. And this is made possible because of our major sponsor, Tucson Electric Power. Thank you, Tucson Electric Power, for helping us build a better tomorrow. With us today, we have two amazing individuals, in my opinion, from our Arizona Community Foundation. It is my pleasure to welcome Colleen Iuliucci and Joan Serviss. Welcome, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much, Carolyn and Lydia.
Well, it is just a pleasure to be able to sit down with the two of you. And to get things started, I would love for you to share with our guests the work that Arizona Community Foundation is doing, some of the issues that you are addressing, who your target audience is, and some of the services that you provide to community.
Well, the Arizona Community Foundation covers a lot of ground. So we're a statewide community foundation that works to lead, serve, and mobilize enduring philanthropy for a better tomorrow. So it's a pretty broad scope. Our main office is in Phoenix, and we have 5 regional offices across the state. And we really exist to connect philanthropy with community needs. So while many people know us as a grant maker, our work is really about bringing together donors, nonprofits, businesses, and local community leaders to solve challenges that matter most to Arizona. So we focus on everything from arts and culture to education to the environment. But about 3 or so years ago, we went through a deep strategic learning process. We did a lot of research, got a lot of community feedback, and we identified 3 focus areas to really lean in and dig a little bit deeper into. And those include education, the environment, and housing and homelessness. And we know that housing has become a really important issue facing a lot of families, workforce development, economic opportunities. And so we're really committed to investing into some of those long-term solutions. So I'm based, my office is in Tucson, but I'm based here in Southeast Arizona. And we see unique challenges facing both rural and urban environments. So having a statewide organization with local relationships can really be beneficial. And that's where our amazing team comes into play. So Joan, if you want to share a little more about your role.
Sure. So welcome everybody. Again, my name is Joan Serviss, and I am the Affordable Housing and Homelessness Director here at the Arizona Community Foundation. I'm pleased to join Colleen and the amazing folks throughout the state working on addressing our community needs. As Colleen mentioned, there was a strategic conversation, listening sessions that identified the 3 most pressing issues. And now, as it relates to housing, that's when I get to enter the chat. So I'm happy to really breathe new life into ACF's affordable housing and homelessness strategy. And I say breathe new life because ACF has long been in the housing space. However, really trying to double down on its impact over the past couple of years. And where ACF has had significant impact over the past 15 years is its pre-development loan product. So it's through that pre-development loan product that ACF has been able to assist more than 4,000 affordable housing units be produced, including a longstanding relationship with Compass Affordable Housing. So Yeah, so I'm happy to again talk a little bit more about our complete strategy, but I'll also mention that, while these are the loan products that we have, and I'm happy to go into that in more detail, ultimately the housing strategy is really focused on the fact that we know that Arizona's quality of life and rapid growth has made Arizona really an attractive place to call home. However, it's those rising housing costs that have had made a significant impact. And so we have identified three P's that really articulates our strategy. First is production, right? We know we need to build. We need to build, 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 build. But we also need to build with the intentionality of affordability. And again, that's absolutely where Compass comes into play. Because you fully understand the full housing continuum from addressing our unsheltered population to the market rate housing and home ownership opportunities. And then second, we want to prevent a housing crisis before it happens through prevention activities. And then finally, we want to protect. We want to protect the existing housing and homelessness ecosystem. We want to make sure that the homeless response system, which we know that we will always need to have some level of a shelter because people fall on hard times. So we at ACF stand ready to support our homeless shelter service providers to get what they need to keep the doors open and work in an uncertain funding environment.
I love the way you map that out. And I'm just going to do a quick shout out before we go to break here that yes, we are so thrilled that Arizona Community Foundation has been a longstanding partner with us, and that you are also seeing the need to build a broader approach to housing besides just inventory. So I love your three Ps. We're going to take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, Tucson Electric Power, and when we get back, I know my co-host Lydia has some great additional questions that she wants to get out there for you.
I can hardly wait.
It's important that Tucson Electric Power partner with agencies like Compass Affordable Housing to ensure the members of our community have access to the resources that they need. We understand that we're operating in an affordability crisis, and this is not something that can be solved alone. Together, we can achieve so much more.
And as we go into this segment, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Zona Training Solutions. Ladies, oh my goodness, there is so much that was just covered in your introduction, and I think it speaks highly to the breadth and depth of Arizona Community Foundation as a whole organization and the impact that it brings to the people, resources, and projects in Southeast Arizona. Joan, thank you for the deep dive. And Colleen, you overseeing so much. I wonder if the two of you might now be able to go a little bit deeper into how you feel and approach the requests to ACF. In other words, how ACF is looking to actually help build solution and impact to some of the more specific issues.
Because ACF has had a long-standing history in the housing space, but there's been a lot of emphasis, a lot of energy around housing in our state over the past few years. We really wanted to, again, really embark upon the strategy, the production, the protection, and the prevention. But it's the production. It's, again, the producing affordable housing that is something that ACF has long been known for. It's been long known for its pre-development loan product. But we've recently expanded it through the support of ACF board and donors. We've expanded our existing pre-development loan fund to become a flagship unifying loan product, because we understand when it comes to affordable housing, we need capital, but we need smart and flexible capital.
Yes.
So it's through this affordable housing loan fund, we'll continue to provide what ACF is long known for, again, the zero interest pre-development loan. But we also have a concessionary capital track, which really allows for more gap financing. We recognize that to build affordable housing, workforce housing, you need 6, 7, 8+ layers of capital. And that's where I think our catalytic funding can be that support system for cheaper interest rates, more affordable interest rates. We can really better support our nonprofit affordable housing developers and accelerate the production of homes across the urban, rural, tribal, and suburban communities. And
Mhm.
it's through that strategy, as I mentioned, that's really where we're hoping to have a lot of support so that ACF is the first dollar in through its loan product, and it's the last dollar in to get the project through the finish line through its grants. So it's through its granting that I'd like to turn it over to Colleen to talk a little bit more about ACF's giving in that capacity.
That
Yeah, and
was
I
a
think
wonderful kickoff, and I think that would just be great. Again, flexibility sounds like your first way in, not having so much restriction for the organizations you serve. Colleen, please.
Yeah, I just commend Joan and the team because I think so much of this is their expertise. And one of the most important things that we do is to be in the community, to listen to local leaders, but to listen to our nonprofit partners and of what they're seeing, what they're needing, and how they know that the impact can be the deepest. And so I just appreciate and commend that work so much. And a lot of what we do is listening to communities to hear what are the challenges that they're facing, what are things that they're bumping up against, where is the gap in funding, and then our job is to really serve as connectors, to bring the pieces together, to talk with donors that we work with. Maybe there's corporations who are interested in investing, to hear where some of the shared priorities align. And I think one of the things that has been made abundantly clear over the last couple of years is that we're better together. So coming together, how can we leverage funding and resources and knowledge and insight to really make that deeper impact? So we just sort of want to maximize, think creatively and strategically, and then come together with people who just care so deeply to invest in those projects and those opportunities where we can really meet the need and we're really doing something important.
Thank you. The power I've heard recently of philanthropic storytelling is a wonderful tool and is not always historically brought to the table. So conversations like this with Compass Affordable Housing's Ecosystem podcast really help draw that story out and inform people how they can come and participate with what ACF is offering.
And Lydia, you bridge right into where I wanted to build on what Colleen you just said, and the way that you encourage people to and corporations, back to what Joan was saying, to participate in the philanthropic ecosystem, but as well as in our greater ecosystem, which means that more affordable housing is getting built, inventory that exists is being taken care of. How do you participate and you encourage others to participate?
I think a lot of it is listening. I mean, we're really lucky. We have many amazing longtime volunteers who have dedicated their time, and so they share with us. We have these trusted relationships. They share with us what some of those needs and priorities are. It's making time to talk with the community, the nonprofits leading the work to better understand. But then it's really listening to folks too, like where does their heart lie? What are they passionate about? I think we live in such an amazingly generous community, and folks want to affect change and they want to be part of the solution, but they don't always know how.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's, you've got a larger organization that can maybe invest large dollars, but there's also ways to come together for those who maybe don't have quite the capital to do so, to like come together in a group and make a deeper impact that way. So, so much of it is just connecting and building those relationships, and listening for those cues of where we can connect the dots.
And to kind of get a little bit more granular or dig it down a little further is One of the things I've personally seen Arizona Community Foundation does so well is helping people who want to make philanthropic investments maximize their gifts through DAFs. And I don't know that a lot of people realize what an amazing opportunity you guys provide for that. Could you tell us a little bit?
Absolutely, yeah. Donor advised funds, they're gaining popularity, but I think sometimes, not everyone knows, but it's a great opportunity. You can open a donor advised fund. You get an immediate tax deduction, and individuals can do this, families can do this, corporations can do this, and it's kind of like your charitable checking account. So if you're already giving to your favorite nonprofits, many of us are contributing to, more than one. It's a great way. You get your immediate tax deduction. You kind of keep your receipts and things all in one place for tax season, which is always a plus. And then you can decide, a lot of the folks that we work with already know the organizations that they want to support, but some of them come to us and they want to know, like they might come and say, I care about housing. I see it in my, the impact in my community. What can I do? And we can have conversations around where to make some of those investments. And so it's a great tool. If folks aren't familiar, I encourage them to check it out. There's some great tax advantages to giving through donor advised funds as well.
Absolutely, especially entering into the 2026 tax year, we're going to actually see the philanthropy have ripple effects beyond our Arizona tax credits. So I think it's an exciting point. We're going to take a quick break here to hear from our sponsor for our last segment, Tucson Osteopathic Medical Foundation. And when we come back, I'm going to toss it back over to Lydia to get you talking about how people can participate. So come on back and join us.
Annually, we give to local organizations who are running programs and making great strides in what we call the social determinants of health. It's incredible the work that they're doing, and we're just really proud to be a part of it.
And once again, we would like to thank our major sponsor, Tucson Electric Power. Colleen and Joan, you have shared an awful lot with us that really gets the mind thinking about the bigger issues at hand when it comes to community giving, particularly in the housing industry and the housing initiatives. Would be wonderful to hear at this point how our viewers and other folks out in community might be able to engage with you, not only for donations and where they can show their support, but maybe also bring questions, come to activities and such. Joan, maybe you might start us with some housing specific activities that are on the horizon.
Sure. So, to the folks that are listening to this podcast, we know that the Arizona community wants to get involved, wants to be engaged, and wants to have an impact. And we also know, again, through our strategic listening sessions and the continuing conversations that we've heard throughout the past few years, we know that housing and housing affordability is of utmost importance to folks. And as we get ready to enter into the election season, we know that, again, housing is top of mind. According to some recent information from the Center for Future of Arizona, 84% of voters feel that home rental prices in Arizona are too high. 81% want to ensure that people who experience homelessness can access safe, affordable housing. And this last bit is important to me. 78% of voters believe that more housing that is affordable is needed in their community. So to build upon that, we'd encourage folks that are listening to donate through the Arizona Community Foundation's Affordable Housing Loan Fund. That really serves as that entry point for us to connect, again, to the nonprofit affordable housing developers that are working tirelessly throughout the state. Colleen, anything to add?
Yeah, I think it's one thing to talk about it, but if you're really eager to learn more about your impact, reach out to us. You can visit azfoundation.org. You can also just search for our staff contacts. You can search for Joan or myself. You can reach our Southeast Regional Office at 520-505-3678. But let's have a conversation. I'm just interested to hear from you. And if you want to sort of get out in the field or connect with some of these nonprofits that are doing the important work, we would love to take you out and make those connections and let you see things firsthand. So happy to chat. Really grateful to both Carolyn and Lydia for hosting us and just having these important conversations, and look forward to continuing them.
Well, thank you so much to both of you. And it is always a pleasure to see you out and about in community. Both of you are very present in many different places. So I'm sure our listeners and viewers are going to find you as well. Carolyn, what other thoughts do you have?
I just really appreciate the transparency and the fact that Arizona Community Foundation, you're listening to us, your responsiveness, and I love the direction you're growing the pre-development fund, the way that is changing. I think it's going to take, as we say all the time, it's going to take all of us working together to solve these issues and to create the communities that we want to leave for our next generation, that we want to grow up in, to grow old in. And I thank you both for being a part of today's discussion. To our viewers, please remember you can always learn more in the links below in our YouTube podcast. Go directly to Arizona Community Foundation, or you can find more information on our website at www.compassaffordablehousing.org. It has been a pleasure to have you both here today, and thank you for sharing your time, your knowledge, and your experience, shining a light on the work that Arizona Community Foundation is doing.